All right, so we begin this morning's bulletin with some breaking news coming in from the United States of America that federal immigration officers shoot and kill man in Minneapolis, sparking mass protests. Video appears to show a federal officer had taken a gun away from a Minneapolis man prior to a Border Patrol agent fatally shooting him today. The man has been identified as Alex Pretty, a 37-year-old who sources say worked as an ICU nurse. Viewers. Protests erupted in Minneapolis after federal immigration officers shot the protester. Alex Pretty's family released a statement slamming the Donald Trump administration. The Trump administration in Pretty's case alleged that he was shot because he was carrying a weapon and the agent fired in self-defense. However, video details seen by CNN contradicts this version of events. Clips have shown an agent reached out during the scuffle and got Pretty's gun before the first shot was fired. And we have CNN News 18 Siddhant Mishra joining us live right now. Siddhant, good morning and thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast. So what do we know about the incident so far? What were the key discrepancies between the two video footage and the official account provided by federal authorities regarding the events leading up to the shooting?
Well, that's right. So a 51-year-old man was shot on Saturday by federal immigration officers in Minneapolis. He has died. A hospital record obtained, says that the shooting happened amid widespread daily protest in the Twin Cities since the January 7th shooting. And now, in fact, we are also getting to know that after which the protests massive protests have erupted in Minneapolis. After this particular incident, federal immigration officer shot and killed a man on Saturday in Minneapolis, drawing hundreds of protesters in city already shaken by another fatal shooting weeks earlier. Now, the details surrounding the shooting weren't immediately clear, but Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said the person who shot amid the Trump administration's immigration crackdown, as per the hospital record, he's a 51-year-old man. That's what the governor has to say. So, this is Minneapolis, Minnesota is in news from last 15 days. In fact, the crackdown by the ICE teams there, and perhaps they're facing also opposition at the time of their raids or catching people, and perhaps in that the federal officers are opening fire, etc. Not for the first time, have been reported earlier also. So situation is tensed on ground. In fact, people have hit the streets. Massive protests are going on against ICE, against the Trump administration, and people want ICE teams to back off. They don't want them to continue with the operations. But despite the protest, anger of the people, the ICE teams are continuing with the crackdown.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for sharing that very crucial input with us. Viewers, please have a look at the CNN footage to gather more perspective on the matter.
There is plenty of video out there showing what happened, with DHS now trying to say that this man, a 37-year-old Alex Pretty, saying he was here to massacre law enforcement. And then they say, look at the video. Look at what he was doing here. He was here trying to protect someone who he put his arms around. You see him doing that in several of these videos, trying to get her, it looked like, away from ICE. That's what one witness said, who was in the donut shop that I spoke with. And they're trying to say that he was here for some other reason, for some dastardly dangerous reason. People here say it is ICE that is dangerous, not the people that they have been going after, not the people that they have killed. They have shot 3 people in less than a month. So there is a reason why people are out in the streets, and they do not plan to stop coming out in these streets. Their demand is to have ICE leave this community now. Now, what you saw earlier today was a lot of tear gas fired by federal agents. Then you had state and local police come in. It seemed they formed a line allowing the federal agents to leave, and then things did begin to calm down. But I will show you this, because things have gone from fury and dealing with war warlike situations in the middle of the street, which really, this is Eat Street here in Minneapolis. This is a place that you normally come to have a great meal. It is multicultural. There are all kinds of different wonderful restaurants here, turned into this morning a war zone. I was here for it. It did look like that, and you know I have covered many wars in my time. I'm going to have Jerry let you see what's happening now, because it started with fury, and it is really ending in solemn sorrow for the death of 37-year-old Alex Pretty. He was a ICU nurse at the local veterans facility here. He was a person who came out. You can see him in one video filming people. He may have been called out with many others. You know, they use this system where they're communicating with each other when they see ICE action to have people come out and, as they say, protect their own. And he was out here, certainly in one video. You see him using his camera. And we learned also from the governor that he had a legal permit to carry. There is nothing illegal about carrying a weapon in Minnesota if you have the permit for it, and he had that. So there are a lot of questions that must be asked about the federal government's versions of events versus what you were seeing on video and what you were hearing from witnesses. Let me let you listen to what a witness told me who was inside that donut shop this morning, having no idea, just eating his breakfast and then seeing this commotion and horror. I will move in just 2 seconds. Thank you. The commotion and horror that unfolded before his eyes. He himself, by the way, had been detained by ICE in 2019. Listen. What did you see before the shooting? Just before the shooting, and then what did you see happen?
Well, what I saw is that there was a lot of people, you know, getting together, trying to come and get the attention from the officers, and they managed to do it. But the way that the officers reacted when they saw these people, you know, they started pushing them away and like being physical to them, you know. And as they were being physical to this one lady in particular, she tried to look like to somebody, you know, to grab onto, and it just happened to be this person who got shot. And I saw him like trying to hug her and push her away to the sidewalk. But when he did that, all the officers got the attention on him, you know, as he was the one taking that woman away from their hands. And everything escalated so fast. It's like, I don't know.
Breaking news at this hour out of Minneapolis. Tension and unrest there after a 37-year-old man was shot and killed by federal agents today. That man has now been identified by law enforcement sources as Minneapolis resident Alex Pretty. Sources telling CNN he was an ICU nurse at a VA medical center. Now the scene captured on video. And we'll warn you, of course, watching this is very disturbing, but it is now very important to know exactly what happened. And what you're looking at is several federal officers surrounding the man before the shooting occurred. Homeland Security is saying that the agents acted in self-defense and that the man approached Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. They're saying all of this, of course, prior to any investigation. Some members of the Trump administration have quickly labeled him as a domestic terrorist. The DHS Secretary Kristi Noem was asked about that a short time ago, and here is how she responded.
When you perpetuate violence against a government because of ideological reasons and for reasons to resist and perpetuate violence, that is the definition of domestic terrorism. This individual who came with weapons and ammunition to stop a law enforcement operation of federal law enforcement officers committed an act of domestic terrorism. That's the facts.
Okay, well, again, no investigation there. She hadn't even seen all of the videos, but authorities are using tear gas and flashbangs to disperse the crowd at the scene. Then ensued. The protesters, of course, are out in sub-zero conditions. This is the third shooting and the second fatal one this month involving federal agents in Minneapolis. The city is now becoming a flashpoint in President Trump's federal immigration crackdown. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz says that the man who was killed was a, quote, lawful firearm concealed permit carrier. He and other state and local officials, including Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey, are calling on the Trump administration to remove ICE from the city now.
To President Trump, this is a moment to act like a leader. Put Minneapolis, put America first in this moment. Let's achieve peace. Let's end this operation, and I'm telling you, our city will come back Safety will be restored. We're asking for you to take action now to remove these federal agents.